and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something huge, a concept that could totally flip the script on how we trade the world's most valuable resource. And no, I'm not talking about oil or gold, I'm talking about data.
So let me just ask you this, right off the bat. What if you could trade information, just like you trade a stock on Wall Street?
Because let's be honest, right now, buying and selling data is kind of the Wild West. It's all backroom deals, it's slow, it's risky, and half the time you have no idea if what you're getting is legit. But imagine flipping that completely on its head. Imagine a system that's open, instant, verified, and actually trustworthy.
Okay, so to really get this, we first have to understand the problem we're trying to solve. Let's get into it. Section 1, the data dilemma. We all hear it, right? Data is the new oil. It's this super valuable asset. But here's the catch. It doesn't trade like one. You can't just go to a market and buy it like gold or shares in a company. There's no organized, transparent place for it. And that creates a ton of headaches for, well, pretty much everyone. And that huge dilemma, naturally, brings us to the big idea, the solution. So let's move on to Section 2, a market for information. So here's the game changer, a data exchange. We're talking about a global marketplace that takes data and turns it into something you can actually trade. The easiest way to think about it, it's like the New York Stock Exchange, but instead of trading shares of Apple or Ford, you're trading data sets. And it has that same level of trust, that same level of transparency. So how do you even build something like that? What makes it tick? Well, it all comes down to 4 crucial pillars: transparency, trust, liquidity, and scale. Let's break down exactly what those mean and how they work together.
All right, let's tackle that first one, which you could argue is the most important piece of the entire puzzle. Section 3, building unprecedented trust.
To build trust, you need to know about something called provenance. It's a fancy word for a simple idea: the verified origin and history of a data set. It answers that one super critical question: where did this data actually come from? If you know that, you've got the foundation for real confidence. Okay, so how does a buyer actually get that confidence? Well, it's a pretty straightforward journey. First, you find a data set you're interested in. Then, you get to check out a structured snippet. Think of it like a free sample. You get a taste before you buy. You can verify that it's the real deal, and only then, when you're 100% sure, do you hit purchase. And why is this so important? Well, it's simple. Buyers can actually be confident in what they're buying. That means no more wasted money on bad data. You're not flying blind anymore. You know exactly what's inside the box. But trust isn't just about getting a free sample. The whole system is designed for it. We're talking secure transactions to cut down on fraud, and a reputation system, kind of like on eBay or Uber, where the good players get rewarded. It all works together to create a safe space for everyone to do business. So what's the end game for all this trust building? It's how you get the big fish to swim in your pond. A high-trust system, as the saying goes, builds long-term confidence, attracting larger deals and enterprise participation. That's when a market goes from a small-time thing to a major league player. Okay, so we've got trust nailed down. That's huge. But a market needs more than just trust to work. It needs to be fast, it needs to be fluid. And that brings us perfectly to our next big pillar. Section 4, making data truly liquid. Now, liquidity might sound like a finance buzzword, but it's a really simple concept. It just means you can buy or sell something instantly at a fair market price. We take this for granted with stocks, right? But in the tangled world of data, that kind of speed and fairness has been basically a pipe dream. Until now.
I mean, just look at the difference in how prices are figured out. The old way, it's all secret back and forth negotiations, guesswork, and hoping you're not getting ripped off. The exchange way, it's the total opposite, pure transparency. You see real-time order books, you can look at past trades. The price is set by the actual market, not by some secret handshake.
And the result of that is amazing. It means both sides know they're getting fair value. No more wondering if there are hidden fees or secret markups. The price is just the price, set by nothing more than simple supply and demand. And how does this magic happen? It's all thanks to the classic bid/ask model. This is the exact same engine that powers Wall Street and every other major financial market. Sellers put out an ask price, buyers put in a bid price, and when those two numbers meet, bam, a trade happens, instantly. It's a system that's been proven for centuries to create a fair and super liquid market. So let's recap. We have trust, we have liquidity. Now let's put it all together and look at what this means for the future. On to our final section. The future is tradable. So what really sets this whole model apart? What makes it so revolutionary? First up, no more waiting around. There are zero authentication delays. A seller can list their data instantly. They never miss a market opportunity. The whole verification thing, that happens on the buyer side, whenever they're ready. Next, let's talk about that last pillar we mentioned earlier, scale. And this is where data gets really cool. Unlike a car or a t-shirt, data is infinitely scalable. You can sell the same data set once or 1,000,000 times. For sellers, that's a dream come true. You can't have a stock out and you have zero inventory risk. It's pure upside.
And finally, let's be clear about what this is. It all comes down to what we call exchange-grade mechanics. This is not some simple online storefront. This is a heavy-duty infrastructure built with the same level of performance, trust, and transparency as the big leagues, like the NASDAQ or the London Stock Exchange. It's built for serious, high-stakes trading.
So you put all that together, what do you get? The result is that information finally becomes a true asset class. It's not just something stuck in a forgotten database anymore. It becomes a liquid asset that has real value and can be bought and sold on a global stage.
And that leaves us with one last massive question to chew on. What happens to, well, everything when every piece of information becomes a tradable asset? What does that world look like? Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer.